swear it's hard to forgive them all, steady give them all. My heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears don't applaud. I ain't even worthy of it, cause I know I'm flawed. Saying you not perfect, but I see that shit differently. The best thing to come along in an infinity. So much affinity, I put you on a pedestal. Didn't like it, so you shut it down like Trump did the federal. Look, I'm here to tell you though, always gonna lift you up. You seeing flaws, but I'm seeing vivid gifts and stuff. In you I found heaven, El Dorado and Shambhala. My peace when chips are down like a paralyzed Estrada. Sometimes I feel like Marvin, yeah, it make me wanna holler. Cause these feelings hit me quicker than performing a lambada. I don't ever wanna lose you, want this here forever. If we both feeling flawed, then we should be good together. Let's roll. Father, forgive me for this hate in my heart. I swear it's hard to forgive them all.
Yo, okay. I've had a lot to say tonight, so this is almost going on like 2 hours worth of video. And of course, I'm not going to put them all in the same. I could put them all in the one video, but I'd rather not do that because it's going to take it a long ass time to render. So I'm just going to leave that alone. But anyway, as I was saying in the last video, because like I said, I know I done said in the 2 previous videos a lot of stuff that is going to be really fucked up, and I know it's things that's going to make Janae more mad at me. But I hope that she understand by me saying this that, like I said, I'm not trying to start any drama. I'm not trying to say anything that I shouldn't be saying. I'm just, I'm just venting. I'm just saying how I feel, and I'm just explaining, like I said, where my head was at and with the stupid ass decisions I made. Even right now, where my head is at right now is just on me trying to help myself feel better. It may seem inconsiderate in a sense. It may seem like I don't care about how, hold on, let me make this more personal. It may seem like I don't care about how you feel and that I don't care about what you said, but I do. Everything you have said, that you have said to me lately, means everything to me. Even the stuff that hurt, it means everything to me. But at the same time, I just want you to understand that I keep squinting because of this light, so I just want you to know that I think I'm gonna be blind when I get through making these videos. There's that. Anyway, I just want you to know that even with me saying these things and talking about, parts of our relationship, things, where things went wrong, the mistakes I made, I just want you to know that with me saying all of this, it is not me trying to, ruin your character or anything. I'm not trying to ruin your character at all. Look, I respect who you are as a person. I do. Are there things that have upset me over the years and even lately? Yes, there are. Like I said, I kind of had an issue, well, not kind of. I had an issue with you working a lot. But at the same time, that's something I respect about you. Because, I've never met a woman who works as hard as you. But just to be completely honest. Whether we're together or not, that is, something that is a good thing about you. I just hated that it seemed like it came between our relationship. That's all. But it's a very good thing about you that you're a hard worker. Like I said, I don't know many women that just go out there like that, And it was funny at one point in time, how every time I looked around, you had a different job. And I was like, what the hell? But I guess it speaks volumes about how you are as a worker, that you were able to go from job to job, and find somewhere where you were comfortable, and that people still hired you regardless, So, it speaks volumes about who you are as a person and your character. Like I said, you are very hard working. Even though sometimes you might say to me that you hate you have to work so much, it's a decision that you made, though. And you made it because there are things that you have to do, things that you got to take care of. I hated that you had to work a whole lot too, though. And a lot of times I wished, part of it was selfish. I ain't gonna lie. Part of it was selfish of me, wishing that you didn't have to work a whole lot because I just wanted more time. But the other part of me was just really hating that you had to go through all of it. Like the way I grew up, because, we talked about this once before. The way I grew up, my mother didn't work like that. She worked and she took care of everything. But she didn't have, no 2 jobs. Her jobs didn't make her have to be gone, all day. Because I remember when you and I had this discussion, it kind of turned into an argument. And, it's just that, like I said, how you are, I respect it, but it's way different than what I'm used to. Because, see, like I said, most of the women in my family have never worked like that. Even nowadays, the only person I think I can say that really worked like that might be my cousin Tara. I want to say. That's the only person I can think of that worked like that. But my mother, at first she was first she worked at this store called A Swab, and she worked there from, I guess, whatever time in the morning till certain time in the afternoon. Then later on, because she wanted to spend time with me before it was time for me to go to kindergarten, she left A Swab. And then, like, maybe a little bit later, she ended up becoming a teacher's aide at the school I was going to, Whitechapel. And she was there for a long time, up until they let her go. And it's funny because the same year they let her go was the year that they supposed to been, like, I think, kind of shutting the school down for remodeling and sending everybody over to Doubletree. And so instead, she ended up putting me in this school called West Haven. And she ended up getting a job at a place called Cross Calvary, which is where I met Dontrell and a lot of other people. And and she worked at Cross Calvary for a long time, up until I got in, I won't say 10th grade, and that's when Cross Calvary closed. Then she ended up working at another daycare, and she that was mostly where she worked at up until sometime in 2007, and that's when she left, work for good in a sense, or at least left that job. And that following year, her and I both ended up working together at a place called Flextronics. But ever since then, my mother has not worked, But, regardless of that, my mother did what she could, growing up. But, she, as she used to tell me, she's out here scuffling, trying to put clothes on my back and whatnot, shoes on my feet, and food in my mouth. Because my father wasn't really doing shit to help. He'd probably do a little something here and there, but not a whole lot. So it was all on my mother, But even with that, she didn't work a whole lot, so it wasn't like my mother was never at home. But I will say that when she was at home, she was often tired. And I guess that's the reason why I kind of took it personal, sometimes when you were tired. Because like I said, even though my mother didn't work a whole lot, she, like I said, she would still be tired. And growing up, I used to always want to show her things I was working on, and I couldn't. And so, a little bit, because her and I talked about this, it kind of set up some resentment in me, because I felt like I already wasn't getting attention from my father like I wanted. And so it got to a point where I felt like I wasn't getting attention, from my mother either. And she was like, well, how come you didn't tell me that? But see, at the time when I was young, it wasn't in me to open up like I am now. Like I said, rapping is really what helped me open up. Because before that, I did keep a lot of stuff to myself. I wasn't necessarily a secretive or private person. It's just that I just didn't feel like opening up. I didn't feel like if I opened up that anybody would care. But once I started rapping, that made me change. And honestly, I remember one of my exes telling me that. She said, you became a different person when you started rapping. And I did. In some ways, I changed for the better. Some ways, I changed for the worse. I know to her that that's what it was, because she said I became cocky, conceited, arrogant, didn't consider it. And I guess at the time I did, because the only thing that mattered to me was rapping. This light is killing me. I can't do that. Anyway, the only thing that mattered to me at the time was rapping. And like, even, fast forward to when you and I got together, because I'm still talking to you, Janae. I'm still making this part of the video personal. Even when you and I got together, rap still was a major thing to me. My music was still very important to me. So much so that you reminded me one time that I told you that the only reason I would break up with you is if you came between me and my music. And that is true. I did say that to you. But by the time when I was talking about breaking up with you, I didn't really care about music as much as I used to. I actually cared more about you than I did about making music. It got so to the point that sometimes I couldn't write a song because I always wanted to say something about you in it. Or I didn't want to write anything unless I knew that it was going to be something that you would really love. So, yeah, you came between me and my music, but it got to a point that I didn't care. Like, when I wanted to break up with you that time, it was because I felt like you were just trying to be really petty towards me. And I'm going to be honest, I only said it just to kind of scare you. And, you did say it upset you that I said that. I never wanted to leave you. I never wanted to dump you. I mean, if I ever really wanted to do that, I would have did it a long time ago. But no, we had been together way too long. I think it was like 3 years at that time, I want to say. I'm going to have to go back and look at, it's a transcript in a sense that I have on my computer. It's one thing I kept up with. And I want to say that was either 3 or 4 years ago. But, still we had been together for 3 years at that time, I believe. I think it was 2017. If not, it was 2018. We still had been together for 3 years, even if it was 2018, because that was before December, if I remember correctly. That was probably like earlier in the year. But it was one time that you deleted me simply because I was deleting and blocking people from my page. And so you turned around and blocked me, claiming that you was trying to teach me a lesson. And as I told you, I said, it's not the same. See, you were my girlfriend. So of course I'm going to be upset that you have deleted and blocked me. But most of those people that I was getting rid of, they didn't really know me and didn't correspond with me, probably didn't care to correspond with me, and probably didn't even notice that I had deleted them. And even if they did, they probably weren't even really upset about it. Who knows? They might have been glad that I got rid of them. Which I always found that stupid too, when some people be like, I'm glad you deleted me. I'm like, well, you could have deleted me a long time ago if you really didn't want to be on my page. But it's folks that just like to hang around and be nosy and lurk. That's all it is. They don't like you, but they want to stay on your page because they want to see what you're doing, see what you're going through. Because I'm sure there was a lot of people that was really watching every time you and I got into it, which was fucked up. But that was one reason why I realized that I know that we shouldn't have been, out there like that with our issues, with our problems. But like I said, it was something that we had to learn. We had to learn that we don't need to, get on Facebook and just start saying, this, that, and the third, about each other. That was something that we had to learn. We both had to learn it. But, when I told you that I was going to dump you, I didn't mean that. I just said it because I thought maybe it would, stop you from acting how you were acting. And it did, because you told me that it scared you. I remember that. Because you said you didn't want to lose me. And I didn't want to lose you either. I really did. And I hate that I've lost you now. Like after everything that went on, and like I said, after we had hit 5 years, I really thought, that, like I said, we could get through anything. That's how you made me feel. If I had really known that you had been feeling this for so long, I knew there were things that you were upset about, but to the extent, I didn't know that. I knew that you would say little things to me here and there, and like I said, I would try to make changes, but eventually I kind of just slipped back into my ways. And I guess it's because, like I said, I really would do it. I would do it subconsciously, because it wasn't anything that I was doing deliberately. It was just that I would eventually just slip back into, you know, what was kind of routine for me. And I guess because in the back of my mind, you know, I felt like, you know, that you were always going to be there, that we were always going to work through whatever it is. So it didn't matter how I acted, you know, we were going to remain tight. And that's what I'm fucked up about now. You know, like I said, that's what I'm bitter about. I'm bitter that we couldn't remain tight. I'm bitter that I couldn't keep it locked down. I'm bitter that you didn't want to wait anymore. I'm bitter that you don't want to give me another chance. I'm bitter that there's a possibility that you could find somebody better. And I've said this. Regardless of what you say to me and how you say you're not looking for a relationship right now, that doesn't stop how I feel about that possibly happening. That is not going to stop how I feel. And I know, like I said, saying this to you where everybody else can see it is not going to make you happy. And I honestly hope you don't watch all of these videos today, since today is your birthday. Actually, now that I think about it, I might wait a day before I upload these. You know, just so. Well, I'll upload the first one. Or either I'll upload them and... I gotta do them in some kind of way. But, like I said, it's gonna be 3 videos. And, I know, though, that what I really gotta do, you know, as far as we go, you know, I done got off track. Like I said, I know me talking about this stuff, like I said, it's probably gonna have you upset. And a lot of the things I done said in this video, the video before it, and the video before that, are probably gonna have you really mad at me. And I understand that. I'm mad right now still over things you said. Hell, I'm still mad over things you said last year. The things you said to me when you broke up with me, I'm still pissed off about those. And I don't know if I'm ever really gonna get over them. Especially since, like I said, since we can't fix things. And I know I'm sounding like a broken record, you know, constantly talking about fixing things and you constantly shooting me down. But I'm not even asking you for another chance right now. I'm just expressing how I feel. The reason why I say the things I say, the reason why I tell you that I don't want to move on, the reason why I tell you that I'm not looking to be in another relationship, the reason why I just have no interest in love whatsoever. And that's mainly because we didn't work out. And I'm bitter about that, and I'm pissed off about that, and I always will be. So like I said, I'm still holding grudges over shit from elementary and shit from high school. There are things that I really, when I'm upset about something, it's gonna stick with me. Like, you know, so that's what it is on that. Now, I was supposed to been talking about something, but like I said, I got to talking so much about me and I got to talking so much about me and Janae. This video is going back to the people that watch, which is probably really only Keith. Because that's another thing I wanted to say to you, Janae, that when it comes to my videos, I don't have that many subscribers. I think I have like, 16 subscribers. But even with that, those people aren't watching. The only people that watch are you and Keith. Really. Like, I might have shared a video with my little brother, Ed, you know, and a few times with a dude named Symes. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I gotta ask him. But either way it go, I think there's a mosquito in here or something. But anyway, I have only, y'all two really the only people that watch. There is nobody else that watches my videos. Not that I know of. And at least when I look at the views, a lot of times the views only go up because I accidentally go in there and watch the video myself. And I really hate that. I wish YouTube would stop giving you views when you watch your own video. You know, because like it makes it's less organic. You know, because I could just go in there and just make my views go up on my video, you know, by watching it. But that's not what I want to do. I want other people to watch it. But you know, it is what it is. A lot of people are not going to be interested in watching, you know, what I'm doing. Well, what I'm talking about. Okay, like I'm starting to get tired. But anyway, let me get to something that I really supposed to been talking about, which still has to do with relationships. There are some groups I'm in on Facebook. One of them is called Women Posting Their L's Online. Another one is called Hoes Mad. Two others are called Thought Status at Large and Thought Status Executed. Then there's also a third one, Thought Status Literally Large. I'm in all of these groups. And a lot of times the things the dudes post in there, they be about women, especially modern women. And this speaks volumes more about why I don't want another relationship. Because most of these modern women are not really interesting. And they have these views and whatnot that are stuff that I'm just not okay with. Like, you know, there are a lot of these chicks that are like, I have no problem with feminism, but I have a problem with the third wave feminazi type shit. I have problems with that. Because for one thing, a lot of this shit is actually steeped in white supremacy. And a lot of black women go along with it, not realizing that that is a tool of white supremacy. You know, it's meant to make them, you know, not just dislike men, but especially dislike black men. Because there's a lot of things I see them say that are concerning black men. And they try to say that things about black men are toxic, you know, just like people keep trying to call hip hop toxic. And I hate that. You know, hip hop was always supposed to be this form of self-expression, of course, but even with that, you know, there were things that just weren't allowed in hip hop. And if that's, you know, if that's considered toxic, you know, to say that there are things that shouldn't be in hip hop, then I guess it is. I guess it's just toxic then. You know, but it's gotten to the point now where, like I said, all of the hardcore hip hop, all of that stuff is mostly underground. You know, people might be like, oh, dudes still be talking about shooting and killing each other. Yeah, they do, but it's mostly a lot of niggas singing and shit. You know, a lot of mumble rappers. And like, while there are some people out there that you would consider a mumble rapper that I do like, you know, like Lil Baby and I guess I won't say he a mumble rapper, but Roddy Ricch, I like some of his stuff. But the main point is that, you know, a lot of this rap music out there ain't shit that I really want to listen to. Like, I don't want to listen to no Kanye either, though. Because, you know, Kanye ain't the same. I ain't never really cared for J. Cole. You know, well, I won't say I ain't never cared for him. I like this old stuff. But a lot of stuff nowadays I'm not really into. I used to like Wale. Don't really like his shit anymore. Shit, you know, most of the rappers that I liked are, you know, most of the rappers that I liked just aren't the same anymore. Like, the only person who put out something that, like I said, really lit a fire under me was Lloyd Banks. And that was The Course of the Inevitable. That album, it took me so many weeks to finish it. But not because it wasn't good, because it was a great, superb fucking album. Shit was just straight flames. But the thing is that when I listened to it, I got so inspired to write that I had to take my time going through it. Because just about every song inspired me. Because the song spoke to me. And don't get me wrong. you know, I understand that when it comes to people liking artists that they like them because that artist, like I said, speaks to them. That artist made them feel a certain type of way. And so that's the way I am with the rappers I like. You know, like I said, whether it's Lloyd Banks, Currency, Willie the Kid, Jizza, the old Eminem stuff, you know, no matter who it is or what it is, it's because it makes me feel a certain way. But for me, when it comes to rap, I have to listen to things that are going to inspire me to want to continue rapping, or that are going to make me feel like, yeah, this is worth doing. See, a lot of artists out there, a lot of music, and a lot of what women are into, just to be completely honest, has made me feel like it's not worth being a rapper. Because if so, I've ran across this actually. A lot of women expecting me to sound like this guy or that guy, or you know, this person, or expecting me to rap like this person, when I don't give a fuck for any of that shit. Those are artists I'm not into. That's not my style. I'm not gonna do that shit. You know, like it. I'm trying not to really get too upset, but this has been pissing me off for years. It's been pissing me off for so many fucking years that people expect you to sound like that motherfucker over there. I don't give a fuck about that motherfucker over there. Fuck that shit that he doing. Fuck his whole motherfucking life. Simply because you have gotten on my motherfucking nerves asking me to make some shit like this nigga, telling me that I should sound like this nigga, telling me that I should sing on songs. Fuck that shit. Fuck all of that shit. I am sick. I'm sick of the way music is nowadays. No doubt. Like, my mind used to be so open to listening to everything, but I don't give a fuck to listen to anything but rap nowadays. And when I do, it gotta be some underground shit. It gotta be some hardcore shit. It gotta be some really, really rough shit. Gotta be some dark shit. That's what it gotta be. You know, like, I be trying to check out different stuff, but I just can't get into it. Like, I tried to get into, you know, some Drake shit. Like, the only thing I did like was maybe this song. I can't remember the name of it, but it was on a little EP he put out not too long ago. That was about the only song I did like. But I couldn't get into Scorpion. I haven't even tried to listen to this most recent album of his. Didn't even download it. I just can't get into that type of shit. Not what I want to hear. Like, and when I really knew that I was fucked up about the way music is when I couldn't even get into something by Eminem. Like, that was one of my favorite rappers, but the last album he put out, I cut this shit off after the second song. I just couldn't get into it. He's changed a whole lot, and I get it. People are, you know, we're supposed to change, you know, or we can change. Put it that way. Not that we're supposed to, but we're allowed to. You're allowed to change and grow, but his growth is not something I'm interested in. Where Eminem is as a rapper right now is just not what I like. You know, it's not what I care for. It's not what I want to hear. And, you know, there are some people who just say, oh, man, he just corny anyway, so, you know, maybe you just finally realizing he corny. No, it's not that. I mean, I could say that some of his stuff has always been corny, but it was still interesting to me. It was still gripping. It was still something that spoke to me. The stuff that he makes nowadays is just not where I'm at. It's not what I believe in. Some of the, you know, social issues that he's that he's being a champion for, because I can't say the word the way I want to say it. Those are things that I don't give a fuck about. You know, it's just not what I want to hear, and it's what I don't want to do in my own music. So for people who want to hear that type of shit, you know, go ahead and bypass me, because I'm not gonna make that. I'm not gonna try to sound like him. I'm not gonna try to sound like J. Cole. I'm not gonna try to sound like Big Crit. I'm not gonna try to sound like Wale. I'm not gonna try to sound like anybody. No matter what people think I should do, that's not what I'm going to fucking do. You know, and this is what has pissed me off for years. You know, like I said, for years, I've heard this so much from different people, and I hate it that people never want you to be who you are. You know, like, and this just isn't a music thing. It's a whole life thing, relationships, friendships. There are people who don't like you as you are, or how you've always been. Like, people who probably knew how you were from the very beginning, but all of a sudden want to think they can change you to be this type of person or that type of person. You know, which is something me and a lot of the guys in one of those groups, women posting their L's online. In that group, we were talking about how women often want guys to change the way they dress, and they want you to change who you hang out with. They want you to, like, a lot of women want guys to make all kinds of changes, but they don't want to change shit. They want to stay the same person. They want to, you know, some of them just want to keep getting real fat and not trying to, you know, lose any weight. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against big women. You know, I've dated, you know, a lot. But there's a point when a woman gets just, like, way too big, you know, and it ain't no trying to, you know, be accepting of that, you know, this body positivity shit. You know, that there should be limits. You shouldn't be trying to tell somebody like, hey, yeah, you look like you're about to have a heart attack, but hey, keep looking like that. You know, it's cool. However you want to be, boo-boo. You know, nah. I just, you know, I'm tired of all of that shit. And this is what has made me realize that I never want to try to be in another relationship, because, like, even though in that group there are some women who feel like, you know, most of us guys feel, it's mostly a lot of white women. It's either that or a lot of, you know, foreign women, or, like I said, you know, it's not, there aren't any black women in the groups. Like, maybe in one of those groups there was some black women in there, but the only thing they really were agreeing with was that they dislike OnlyFans, which was cool, but, you know, they was with all that other stuff, you know. And it was like a lot of guys was talking about how, you know, because I'm gonna be honest, you know, I was raised to believe that, you know, my aunt, not my auntie, my grandma, on my father's side, she always told me that the man is supposed to be the one to do all the work. The woman stay home, you know, cook, clean, take care of the babies. I understand times are different now, but, you know, as some guys had said in the group, you know, because some women were like, you know, I have a master's and such, how come guys don't want to be with me? Because guys are not into that. A majority of guys do not give a fuck what type of degree you got. And honestly, what we realize is that when you have some degree like that, that you're obviously going to be way too busy, because guess what? You have a career now. And there's nothing wrong with women having a career. But we look at things in the terms of how good of a companion you're going to be, not how much money you're bringing in. Now, there might be some guys who care about how much money a woman is bringing in, but a majority of us, hold on, this is about to, yeah, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna finish it in the next video.
I swear it's hard to forgive them all, steady give them all. My heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears don't applaud. I ain't even worthy of it, cause I know I'm flawed. Father, forgive me for this hate in my heart. I swear it's hard to forgive them all, steady give them all. My heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears don't applaud. I ain't even worthy of it, cause I know I'm flawed.